Okay. Robin's foot? Check. Giant amethyst? Check. Pagan prayer beads? Check. Favorite pack of tarot cards? Check. Backup pack of tarot cards? Check, check. Ouija board? Velvet cape? Prayer candles? Check, check, check. What am I missing?
Hi, welcome to Kick-Ass Switch, putting the K in Magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you are watching a video about witching on the go. Witching on the go, portable magic, magic with a K, magic that actually works. Can you imagine if we did everything that I was trying to do here in the beginning of that video? I think some of us do. Like, our bags get heavier and heavier and heavier over the years because we try to bring like all our witchery with us. I'm like that when I go on vacation. I've gotten way better at it over time because I recognize the crazy in it. But I would have like all these bags because I had to have my tarot cards and I had to have my favorite crystals that I slept with. And I would just have to have all these things, books especially. And it's kind of like a snail like wearing a brick for a shell. It so does not serve your life to feel like you can't live your life freely and without all of the little accessories of magic. I feel like so many of us live busy modern lives. A lot of us are working parents. I know a lot of you are working parents. I am a working parent. Some of us are students and holding down jobs, and just in general, we all have really, really busy lives. And when you pick up a book on magic, the way that a magic spell is laid out for you is often in a ritual format. I really like, there are books I love, like Scott Cunningham's The Power of Earth, I think. I mention it a lot. It's very simple, little elemental magic spells that you can do. Very easy, simple stuff. I really like that. But in general, when I see like this whole, you need all these ingredients and you have to lay all this out, I think, who does that? Maybe you do that on a big holiday or a special moon, or because you have something very, very specific that you want to create in your life that needs a boost of magic. And I'm all for that. I think magic can be really powerful that way, and that's the fun of magic. But this video is just about witching on the go, how you can take your magic with you in portable ways, either having no tools whatsoever, or very small, little tiny portable tools that aren't like dragging you down with the big old Mary Poppins bag as you're going to work in the morning. Not that having a big old Mary Poppins bag would be bad. That might be pretty cool. But I hope you know what I'm saying. A carpet bag full of shit. So I think the best thing to do is just to think about engaging the senses anytime you're going to do a magic spell. It's great if you know yourself really, really well, if you've done work with sense memory, for example, and you know which of your senses work best as triggers for you. For me, that is audio and the sense of smell. So I tend to use those things. And you can try to incorporate all your senses into witching on the go if you want, but I think just one is very, very powerful. So for example, I often talk about, there's two things. I talk about touch. So this mudra that I talk about a lot, I have programmed this through meditating. I've programmed this into my system so that I can hold my hands like this. There is a certain amount of pressure that I'm doing here. And it instantly, when I do this out in public, when I feel nervous, when I need to bring myself back to center and back to my place of power, which is the present moment, this works like a charm. And it didn't take long to program it in. I would just say my intention, like I am now creating this magical trigger, and then I would meditate and hold, you're using that Pavlovian trick to trick your mind into going into a meditative state, a light alpha state, every time you hold your finger like this, or your fingers, and this is known as a mudra. There are many other mudras. This is just the most basic and easy for me. I can like put my hands in my pocket like that, or behind my back, or just down at my side. So that's incorporating the sense of touch. There are other things I do if people aren't looking. One of them is I'll take the palms of my hands and press like this. I tend not to do that in public. It's a good one for like the bathroom or your car right before you're going to enter into a busy meeting, because if you do this in public, people are going to go, "What's wrong with you?" Because it looks like there's something wrong with you, but it's just the same thing, like bringing yourself back to center. Feels good just to do it right now, actually. So those are ways I use the sense of touch. The other one I talk a lot about is the sense of smell. Apparently, your olfactory glands are like very, very close to the part of your brain that is responsible for memory. So I think this is why a lot of method actors and magicians use the sense of smell to conjure up certain feelings. So you can tap into old memories that serve whatever it is you want to create, because you're trying to generate those feelings for yourself. And the way I do that is I'll use the same oil again and again and again and again and again for one purpose: to empower myself, to relax myself, to bring myself into center. Whatever it is, I only use that oil for that purpose, and I practice using it much like I said about the mudra. So I'm programming it into my mind. So then you can carry a little vial of that in your briefcase. Don't leave it out in your car because oil goes rancid. Your pocket, make sure the lid is on good, and it's a quality bottle that's not going to leak oil everywhere. In that case, you might end up hating that smell, and it totally defeats the purpose. I know they have those little necklaces, I think, but those aren't for everybody. Just depends on what kind of witch you are. But having an oil that you can take with you, a scented oil, essential oils that you use only for one smell, is just such a great way to like rub it between the palm of your hands and then do a little Darth Vader action. I think it's awesome. As a person with anxiety, of course I would think this. I think it's awesome for relaxation because it incorporates breath work and your scent of smell. But you could use it to invigorate yourself as well. I love that about breath work. That's another thing to explore. Like if you practice yoga, look into the different breathing techniques, because like breath of fire is very, very fast and rapid, and that's to energize yourself. So maybe you want to put the breath of fire with some peppermint oil or something like that. If you're a person that has anxiety, maybe you want to do like a very calm, what is the ocean breath? I always call it the Darth Vader breath, where you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and sound like Darth Vader. That breath. Ooh, I'm forgetting the name of it. It starts with the O. Tell me, witches. I know you know. Put that breath maybe with some lavender oil or something relaxing like that. I think too, it might be interesting. This is not something I personally do, but if smell doesn't float your boat, maybe experiment with the sense of taste, your sense of taste. I took a cooking class, an Indian cooking class a long time ago, and there was, apparently this is a thing in Indian cooking, especially after you eat your meal, there's these tiny little pieces of candied fennel, and they're so good. They taste like black licorice, but they're teeny, teeny, tiny, and you could have like a little vial of that in your bag and use it in the same way, like program it in. And I think that would be a really interesting way to explore using your senses for magic. There are no rules here. It's whatever works for you. You might keep lemon drops in your bag for that reason, or ginger candy, and always assign it a meaning. In my opinion, that is the most powerful way to do it. Like, don't use a peppermint drop for energy and then try to use it again for relaxation. For one, peppermint lends itself very well to invigorating yourself and getting the energy flowing. But also, like, you're trying to train your mind to associate that taste or that sense of smell with that one particular biological reactions. So it's good to, I would say, just work with one, and then when you really have that down and it's really part of your routine, give it a long time, then you can start maybe adding another one in for the more advanced magicians among you. And then the sense of sight is, I think, really powerful when you're trying to affect other people, and it's so simple, it's so basic, it's something that many muggles utilize, lawyers and politicians, anybody who's trying to manipulate the perception of the people around them, they do a little glamour. So if you want to rule the boardroom one day, you might show up in a really strong red something, a shirt, a dress, a jacket. Like, that is attention. You can layer on, confidence, the way you use your voice and your body posture, but it can just start with color magic. If you have to defend yourself in court, you might choose to wear all white, because that symbolizes pretty universally purity and innocence. And I wouldn't get too carried away with like magical correspondences and looking them up in a book. I would stick with basic common sense that you think every single person resonates with, because the more you start getting like really out there, like purple is for manifesting blah 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 blah, not everybody's thinking like that. And if you're trying to influence a boardroom of people, just assume they aren't magicians and they aren't like, ooh, she's wearing purple today because she's trying to conjure up my sympathies. It's like, just stick to the basics, especially for witching on the go. Stick to the basics. Don't make it so complicated. It's not that hard. And then another thing, audio. That is such a favorite thing of mine. And this too is just something anybody can do. You don't have to be a witch to have a theme song on your podcast, but if you're going into something scary, a scary interview, a scary audition, something that you feel is intimidating, that makes you feel like shrinking down inside, have a song that pumps you up and makes you feel yourself. I often joke about, I'll sing it sometimes when I'm doing my podcast, or here I'll say, I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling myself. I know a lot of women like Katy Perry's Roar. What is the Rocky theme song? I feel like that would just make me laugh, but if that makes you feel like running up the stairs to victory, then go for it. And I know these things aren't like crushed velvet, cast iron, cauldron, calling forth demons and angels, and it doesn't have that flair of witchcraft to it, but that's not the kind of witch I am. I like things that work and serve me and keep me in alignment with my purpose, my intention for that day, and keep me out of my own way. A lot of the magic I do is just designed to keep myself out of my own way because for a long time that was the only thing preventing me from creating the kick-ass life of my dreams. And that's the thing when I talk to all of my coaching clients. It's the thing that's keeping them from creating the kick-ass life of their dreams. So for me, that's enough. Magic that gets you out of your own way is awesome. If you want to do some color magic, do a little glamour on other people, experiment with body posture and tone of voice, lowering your voice down an octave because that's supposed to make people respect you more and listen more carefully and take you more seriously. Go for it. I mean, it works both ways if you want it to. And I'd love to hear in the comment section down below, what is your favorite form of witching on the go? How do you do this thing? And until we meet again, much love to you. Peace.